I don't often do deck reviews, but this is a Riftbound deck I've created that I wanted to talk about a little bit more, and I think that with more cards we're going to see this become a much stronger concept. So I want to talk about Viktor. Viktor, Herald of the Arcane, is one of the most powerful legends that we currently have in the game, and with the release of their blue champion card, I had a very novel deck idea, and that was to build a Viktor deck with no unit. Viktors, we have the blue Viktor that says when you play a card on your opponent's turn, player 1 might recruit token in your base. Pair that with Viktor, who says that you can exhaust him and 1 rune to get a recruit, and we don't need actual units in our deck. As long as we have runes, which is a part of the game, we can get at least 1 token in our turn. As long as we can react or play spells or other cards during our opponent's turn, we can get more recruits. I know you're saying you at least have to play 1 unit, and I am playing 3 Viktors, but that is it in terms of what I consider to be a unit. And because I'm playing 1, I thought I might as well play 3, but that can quite easily change. There are some other cards in here that are technically units, mainly just because we do not have enough cards at the time of recording for me to cut them, or that their abilities are so strong I don't consider them units because they will never enter a battlefield, or they are spells with extra steps. I'll get into that a little bit further on. So we're playing a 7-5 split on our Order to Mind runes. Battlefield wise, I went with something a little bit spicy. I went with Targon's Peak because when I conquer here at the end of my turn, I get to ready up 2 runes, and because of my primary strategy is playing stuff in my opponent's turn, I need as many runes awakened as possible. Then I got the Altar of Unity. We're playing token spam, so of course we're going to want more recruits. As long as we can hold the Altar Unity, we're going to get those additional units, and that's going to make our Siphon Powers, our Grand Stratagems, a lot stronger. The last one is Bandletree. Now, Bandletree is a bit of a weird one for mainline Viktor to run, but because we're looking at playing stuff in our opponent's turn, if we can have multiple things hidden, this is going to be an absolutely solid pick. We've got our seals. Yes, we don't play them in our opponent's turn, but it's going to eat some of that power cost. And again, with how many cards we have at the minute, that is not actually enough to sustain what I'm trying to do. As we get more cards, this will get stronger. Stupefy. Give a unit -1 this turn to a minimum 1 and draw a card. So it places itself in our hand, which is something we're really looking forward to doing. It's a very cheap, non-power cost card that will give -1, which may allow our recruits to help take something down or make us a little bit stronger. Plus, it will give us a recruit token in reaction to any ability our opponent plays in their turn. Mushroom Pouch I'm running as a one-off. This is probably one of the ones that will very quickly get replaced, but it will allow us to draw more cards if we have stuff hidden, such as Hidden Blade. This is a kill card that will allow our opponent to draw 2 cards, or we can kill one of our recruits to draw 2 more cards to see what we can get hold of. But seeing as we're not playing massively powerful units because we're playing all tokens, this is going to help us deal with things like Yasuo and Volibear and these turns where opponents are going to try and swing. Again, Cold Week, same sort of aspect. I can sacrifice a 1 might recruit just to go, you sacrifice one of your strongest cards. Siphon Power is going to be very good if we can start building up. Now, there are 2 units in here. If we take a look at Hermendinger, you can see if we zoom in on that part that says unit, it actually says it's a gear. Hermendinger is the first champion gear. He's never leaving the base. He will be exhausted in base to allow me to pump out more recruits very easily. Then we have our champion spell in Shen. This is a reaction that can be played, a spell that can be played during my opponent's turn. So this means I can get 5 might out of nowhere that has to be dealt damage first in my opponent's turn, which will get me a 1 might recruit. And yeah, it's a solid spell to play. This is not a champion unit, this is a champion spell that will allow me to utilize Blue Viktor a little bit more. Then we have our Sprite Call, which is going to, again, Similar to the champion spell, this spell is going to get us a free might sprite that is going to allow us to hold a base, going to get us another 1/1 recruit, and because it's a hidden card, we're going to be able to utilize it in our opponent's turn quite cheaply. We do lose the sprite, but the recruit we get from it is overall very powerful. Consult the past, draw 2 cards. You know, everyone loves Pot of Greed, and for 1 power, that is a very cheap cost for me to get a 1 might recruit and draw 2 cards. Unlocked power, I'm happy to commit. I'm happy to exhaust all my recruits to deal 12 damage to everything on battlefields and start this all over again. I think that's absolutely fine. Grand Stratagem and Siphon Power are going to be our kind of win conditions. We're going to pump out lots of recruits. We're going to pump them out in our opponent's turn so that they become ready in our turn. They're not exhausted, and we can then boost them up and get going. We've got Promised Future, primarily looking for the Grand Stratagem. I wish this was an action or reaction that I could play to get more recruits, but this is also one of the cards I would love to cut to put something else in. The main issue is that would involve me putting other units in, because at the minute I'm kind of tapped for spells that I can run. Reveal season isn't over yet. We've still got, what, 2-3 weeks, depending on when I actually get this video out, of reveals left. And I think Promised Future will be cut from this deck. But this was, when I saw the blue Viktor, this was my immediate thought of, can I build a deck that doesn't use units? Can I build a deck that is primarily fighting with recruits, that is only using recruits to conquer battlefields, that's only using recruits to play this game, and utilizing that when I play a card in my opponent's turn aspect to utilize my board, to keep filling up my board with these recruits. I'm very excited to see how this deck actually does in testing. I'm hoping to record some games with it so that I can kind of get a more of a footing on what I want this deck to actually do. But let me know, is this a deck you'd be interested in playing yourself? Is it a deck that you'd even considered playing when you saw any of that? And do you have any recommendations for this deck? Is there any spells, gears that I've missed? Should I just abandon the meme and play units? I'm very interested to see how this goes. It's the kind of deck I would love to play because it's got lots of moving parts, and it's something that my opponents are never going to expect unless they've seen this video. But let me know what you guys think, and if you have any other meme deck ideas, let me know. I would love to give them a try building them myself. I will catch you all next time, and I will see you adrift the rift. Bye!